Hey everyone, it is Barb Teckle. So I have decided to do a series of videos sharing excerpts from my latest memoir, I'm Fine Just the Way I Am, Healing Emotional Pain Through the Wisdom of Animals and Oracles. And my latest memoir is also the recipient of the Rio Award that was presented to me in February during the Dog Writers Association of America. I'm so proud of that award because it highlights a dog that has profoundly changed the life of their person. And that would be my Gidget, who profoundly changed this girl's life in an amazing way. I am forever indebted to this little dog, 10 inches high, or I should say maybe she's 10 inches high and she was 10 inches long. But yes, the Rio Award, of which I'm very proud to have received. But I wanted to start to share excerpts from probably each chapter of my book is what I'm going to do, because I really believe that we are in a time, and I really believe that everything that we have started to go through since 2020 has been a call to so many of us to begin to look at what it is that we need to heal within each of us. And if you have followed my work for a while, you know that at the core of what I believe is that the only way to shift this world in a more positive way is for each of us to do our healing work. I really believe it is the only way forward, that we each have to take those steps. And I know they're not easy. I know they're not. But that's why I want to share excerpts from my book each week that I hope will inspire you and encourage you to start taking those steps toward healing what it is you need to heal. And we all have something. We're all a work in progress. I'm still a work in progress. There's things I'm still working on healing. That's why we're here. We're here to heal those things. We're here to live with joy. Joy is part of that. It's a huge part of it. So that's what I'm going to do each week. I hope you'll find it helpful. I hope you'll share it with family and friends that you think it will help as well. So just to give you a little bit of a background, if you're not familiar with my book and what it's about, I'm looking at the back cover just to help remind me as well, since I wrote this back in, oh gosh, was it 2019 or 18? Now I can't even remember. But it's been out a little over a year now. So my book is about taking you on this intimate and powerful journey as I explore the significance of a painful reoccurring vision that I carried with me for over 2 decades of my life. And that was consciously. It was buried subconsciously in me until I was ready to look at it. It finally came to the surface at 29 years old, though it would take me 2 decades before I could actually give voice to it. So I did, as the back says, I had to call upon every ounce of courage, faith, and commitment, or otherwise I would have been swallowed by the depression and the anxiety that had consumed me. And it is interesting because I didn't realize it at the time until, probably a year after that I actually was dealing with some depression and wasn't even really aware of it. And I do talk about that in my book as well. What I really love when I look back on this journey is, and as is stated on the back of my book, is I set out on this journey, and I didn't really realize it at the time either. Hindsight is 2020. And I was like this metaphysical detective because I'm very interested in metaphysics. I'm very interested in spirituality, very intrigued by the wisdom we can learn from animals. So I used all these tools to help me on this self-healing journey that I set out on. And I used each one of these tools as a building block to help me heal. And some of those things that I used were my intuition. I started to build upon that and strengthen it. And what helped me with that was using the insight from oracle cards, and which is why I am now an intuitive oracle reader and guide for people and pets. I also was willing to look at some dreams that were difficult to look at, and got help in analyzing them and linking them to the healing work that I needed to do. And another thing that I incorporated was ceremony and ritual, and doing healing work around letting go and forgiveness, as well as breath work. And all of these tools are things I still use for myself to this day. They're part of my work and my continued healing journey. And as I said, we're all a work in progress, and we are all continuing to heal. So I think what's really important is what I realized, especially through this last healing that I went through, that was a pretty pivotal healing, is that everything up until this point in my life were things that had happened for me and not to me. And I think that's so important, because when we think things are happening to us, we stay in this victim role, and that means we can't take a step forward if we stay in the place of victim. So if we can remember that things are happening for us to help us to grow and evolve and for our highest good, it's that much easier to start to take steps forward for our own healing journey. So in this book also, I draw upon, of course, if you have followed my work, you know how animals have deeply changed my life. I have so much respect and love for the animal kingdom, and especially the dogs out there. I've had 3 special needs dachshunds. Gidget was a special needs dachshund as well, and she is the one that helped, as well as the others. They served as this reflection of this darkness that needed to be healed within me. And I also share the story of a snake that opened the portal to begin this healing journey that I walked. And also I share how a wolf helped me. She was the one who encouraged me to open my heart and keep my heart open. And also a horse who empowered me to stand in my strengths and in my own power. And all of this was integral to helping me transform my pain, and to help me to accept it as a gift and see that it was the path that I was meant to walk, in order to finally realize that I always was worthy just as I am. So that is a little bit about what I'm fine just the way I am is. And then each week I'm going to share an excerpt from my book, in hopes again that it will encourage you and it will inspire you to begin your own self-healing journey of something perhaps that you've never given voice to, or something that you're feeling greatly challenged by. So I hope by sharing that it will help you and guide you to be your best self and to live your most meaningful life. So I'll be back again next week with an excerpt from the introduction, and I will see you then. All right, take good care. Bye for now.